Hi guys, welcome to the Leech Media Show, and today we have Miss Lee-ann Cooper, right?
Thank you so much for having me, Mr. Leech.
Welcome.
It's such a privilege to be here this evening with you.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to this interview. It's been quite a while since I've last seen you.
Yes,
so this is good.
Have you been good?
Oh no, excellent, thanks. You know, I've been busy, writing, working, you know, the usual things that authors do.
Yeah, you look excellent. Even, I think maybe it's the lockdown made you so beautiful and excellent. You look stunning.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. This is a very interesting choice of a book cover. It's very controversial. Can you tell me more about it?
Yes, the reason for the cover is because I wanted to depict a young woman whose life had been shattered over a period of 12 years.
Okay.
So it is my picture and the 12-year period which I transitioned through, as well as the color brown which I used, which is reflective of the skin, the flesh, and the soil, because I wanted to bring that ashes to ashes kind of thing back into the book.
Awesome, because it doesn't look like 12 years of ashes to ashes. In any event, so I've got a next question for you, right?
Yes.
So in the book, I mean, this book actually speaks about abuse. Why did you write a book on abuse? Because there's a lot of books out there that speak on the topic of abuse. Is there anything, what makes it so special that this book will, based on abuse?
Aside from other authors, I consider myself a controversial writer.
Yes.
So I write about topics that no one really wants to speak about.
Okay.
And that is mainly topics such as abuse. And when you look at my book, it's not only gender-based violence, which depicts women and children.
Yes.
It also depicts men being abused and the LGBTQ community and abuse.
Okay.
So it's to cover human abuse as an entity.
Human abuse. All
yes,
right.
not specifically woman abuse.
So I realized that this book has a lot of, from reading the book, there's a bit of controversy in the book, Why is it that you demonstrate or express in the book, controversial issues in that way?
For me, I would single myself out as a controversial writer.
Okay.
And the topics that I deal with is usually what most people don't speak about.
Yeah, which we don't have a lot of
yeah.
people actually talking about controversial issues. Right?
Yes,
yeah?
So I wanted to break the silence.
Okay.
Not only for myself, but for everybody else out there as well. So me targeting women only would be very sexist or feminist, and I'm not. I'm a very fair person.
Biased,
so,
I would say it would be very biased.
So I would rather say that I want to speak to human abuse within the domestic violent environment.
Yeah, because everybody gets abused, right?
Yes, so
everybody
that's
gets
men,
abused. Okay.
that's women, that falls under the LGBTQ community, people that are in same-sex relationships.
Wow.
Every single person has either been or will be introduced to some form of domestic abuse within their lifespan. And this is why I wanted to deal with this topic and speak about it.
Awesome. So Lee-ann, before we get on to the other, I've got 2 or 3 more questions to ask you about the book. And for the people that are out there to actually learn as to why we're actually talking about this book. So I have a couple of other questions for you to answer though. But I'd like you first to tell us a little bit about Lee-ann, if it's okay, if you want to put it into this here. Tell us a little bit about the author, we'd like to know about, I saw on your website, they call you the authoress. So that's a first for us.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the authoress.
Lee-ann is an authoress. I'm a God-fearing person, and I believe that I was born with a very exceptional gift of being very artistic.
Yes.
And I've always had a wonderful imagination as a child.
Yes.
So earlier on in my childhood, most of it was focused on me writing poetry and then being called to write obituaries for people.
Okay.
And I've actually had 2 of my poems that were published in the Cape Argus many years ago.
Okay.
That was when I was 16 already. I actually won a competition for writing poetry.
Wow.
So I never at that point believed that I would ever become an author and a publisher of my own books.
Yes.
But as God has it, through every test, you become a testimony.
A testimony, yes.
And in my testimony, I found my purpose. And my purpose was to share
Beautiful.
my talent with the world, and share my
Beautiful.
books with the world, and be that
Beautiful.
mouthpiece and voice piece to reach everyone.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I really, as from me reading the book, it really is very intriguing, and I'm hoping to actually, I'm really hoping to get more out of this book, because I believe there's just more of it. There's just more. You're not really giving us everything that that you want to talk about, but there's a lot more that we want to learn around this topic, around what happened to you, because I realized that it actually more so it speaks from your personal experiences, right? This is your personal experiences,
Yes,
right?
most of the book covers a bit of statistics on abuse, as well as unknown statistics, and
Yes.
then it goes much into certain sections of my life,
Yeah.
where I do share encounters of my abuse over a 12-year period,
Okay.
which was very long for someone to live in an abusive
12 years.
relationship.
Yes.
And by the grace of God, I gained the courage to actually leave and get out and stay
Wow.
out of abusive relationships.
Tough decision to make there, right? And a lot of
Yes,
people
yes.
are struggling to do so, right?
I think that's why I wrote the book. If I had to do counseling one-on-one, it would take me one person at a time.
Yes.
But if I wrote books like this, I could reach millions of people.
Wow.
And I could change millions of lives
Wow.
with the tools
Wow.
that I used to get
Yes.
myself out of that situation.
Awesome. So the cover is again, from the controversies of
Yeah.
you being controversial in your writing. The cover also is very exciting. It's a very. Does it tell a story? I mean, does it tell the story about the White Robe? Because when I look at the cover, already there's a lot of things that are going through my mind about what could have happened. I mean, this is your face over there. But, I see shattered glass or shattered, dry environment. Maybe you can tell us a little bit.
So
that?
the choice of book cover was very deliberate in much of the saying. I wanted to bring out the brown, which is the soil,
Yes.
and also our flesh.
Wow. Yes.
You know how we were taken from the soil,
From
and
the
to
soil,
dust
yeah.
we shall return.
Very
I
African,
wanted,
very
I wanted to
African.
have that soil in there, and then I wanted to depict a picture of a very beautiful, phenomenal woman.
Yeah.
And when she entered into this relationship, she was pure and beautiful. And through the years, over the 12-year period, her life became shattered into a million pieces. And when you look back at it now, when I look back at the book, I can actually see that I was a shattered, broken person, and I didn't even know who I was anymore. And how I had to get myself out of this situation and then rebuild my face to what you guys see today.
Yeah, because you're saying beautiful and shattered, but we don't see that right now, and we probably want to know how from beautiful to shattered and then to back to beautiful again. We want to know everything. You must spill out the beans. We want to know everything, right? So I want to get to the other questions as quick as possible now, because I'm probably thinking that we are running a little bit out of time also. So the next question I have for you is, it's interesting that you wrote about men abuse, because as men we don't just come out and speak about things. We are always introvert about things. So you spoke about men abuse and the LGBTQ community. Can you tell me just a little bit about it?
Okay, men specifically, I feel, is a very lost generation in terms of domestic violence. And although there's a large amount of statistics that prove that men are mainly the abusers, I beg to differ a lot, because I do believe that there's a lot of cases where men have not stepped forward. They have not gone to the police stations to report their wives abusing them, or being beaten, or being slapped, or whatever it is, because of fear,
Yeah,
fear
we get
of
laughed
being,
at. I mean, you go to the
Exactly.
police station, they laugh at you. You say,
and then you
even
become
give
you
words.
become not man enough.
Exactly.
And irrespective of what race or culture, that's always the thing. Are you man enough? How can you allow this to happen to you? So you shy away from it. But the reason why I mentioned it deliberately in the book is because a man is abused over a period of time.
Yes.
In his act of self-defense, he can pick up a weapon and stab, shoot or kill his
someone,
wife or his partner without knowing that he's going to take that person's life.
Exactly.
And his story goes untold. Because when they arrest him, they're not going to ask you, please tell us about your history of abuse.
Yes.
They're going to look at it as an immediate crime, and he will be sentenced for life because of that. So this book is the tools every man needs to equip himself to see the signs of early abuse and to deal with that via counseling or whatever medium he sees fit. But that there's a voice out there for you.
Wonderful.
There's a voice out there.
So gentlemen, I mean, I know it's tough. It's very tough. I'm a man as well. I'm married. And maybe at times I don't even know if if I'm getting abused. But on the point that she has given, I think that if it's spoken about men and especially the case that we can't go to police stations and report stuff and so on. So I believe that some of the things that are written in here are very helpful for us.
Definitely.
To be able to take action and even restore our relationships, because at times maybe it might be some of the things that lead us to do things that we don't want to do.
Exactly.
So, if there's more that we want to learn, this book is like, it's packed with a lot of information to help us as men to move forward, the LGBTQ community, etc. I think it covers a lot of people. Now, there's two more questions I want to ask you, and I'm thinking now, we probably have to get to the end of this. So, having been abused yourself, how does one identify red flags?
Okay.
Because I read this in one of the chapters. There's a place where it talks about red flags. So, how do I identify that this is something that's already leading to serious abuse or something like that?
Okay, I think I'm going to answer the question now. I just want to mention something.
Okay.
The book is not specifically only aimed at people that have been in domestic violence relationships or are being abused.
Okay.
They for anybody.
Anyone can get it.
If you are looking at getting a suitable life partner and you're not sure what the good or bad red flags are of each person, this book is a useful tool for you to go through each and every one. I will mention two that are reflective more towards abusive kind of personalities per se. It would be people that have excessive use of alcohol, or that are drug addicts.
All right.
People that are addicted to drugs, and then also people with compulsive and obsessive possessive personalities. So people with behavioral disorders where somebody is bossing you around, constantly keeping tabs on your whereabouts,
so we can
controlling behavior. So there are many red flags, but this is just two that I've mentioned, and the rest you will find within the contents of the book.
Contents of the book.
Yes, and this will help. Fathers could get this for their daughters. They could get it for their sons. If you don't even know if you are in an abusive relationship, you should get yourself a copy. Wonderful. Once you read through the book, you'll understand, okay, I think I might be in an abusive relationship, because the good part is your authoress has personal experience with this, and I can easily relate to you. And when you read the book, you'll read the earnesty and honesty behind these red flags and the relationships that you're currently in. It will make you question it.
Awesome. No, because I think my next question was, can anyone get this book? Is this book only for people who've been in abusive relationships or whatsoever? Or is this book for anyone? But you've just answered now that I can even buy it for my son or someone that I believe.
Yes, I think every human being should have a copy.
Yeah.
Because everybody on this planet knows somebody who's currently being abused.
Abused, yes. Wow.
Everybody on this planet has a story that they haven't even spoken about.
Wow.
It might be a childhood abuse that you're still dealing with.
Great,
This book will help you address those issues as an adult, so you can have a better life or better quality of life.
Yes.
So I would suggest anybody get a copy of the book. It's life-changing. It has changed my life. I've actually read it about 12 times.
No, I can see that. I've seen that. I can see that. I mean, from me reading the book as well, it has really affected me in a very positive way, because there's a lot of things that I didn't know, and it was like shocking to read a few things. And getting to know you and understanding you and saying, are there people who actually go through things like what I've been reading in there? Just like shocking, things like, I don't even want to mention them right now, because I think whoever wants to learn more about that stuff, they can get it in the book. You can get it in this book. So the last question I have for you is, Can you tell us where we can get this book? Where can we get it?
Well, you can go to my website. The book is available on my website, which is www.twrempire.co.za. You can also follow me on my Facebook page, which is Lee-ann Tracy Cooper on Facebook.
Yeah.
You can follow me on my Twitter handle, which is TWR Empire1, on my Instagram, which is @TWREmpire1. That's the way you'll be able to follow my story and also have a look at all my other books and whatever TWR Empire has to offer you guys.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Lee-ann, for coming through, and being with us. You're a God-fearing woman, so I can feel the blessing. The blessing is taking place here at Leech Media Studios. And we are grateful that you could actually come. There's somebody that came out to tell us this. There's somebody who's talking about this from a universal point of view. There's somebody who's sharing, and this is her personal life story. It's not a made-up type of story. It's not artificial. It's something that is real, and it's something that anybody having to read this, it can actually change your life. I'd say to you guys, for me, I've read it a couple of times. I've got a whole bunch of, there's copies that we've been reading of this book. I've read the previous copy on this book, which was really just the start of the book. It comes from somewhere. So when I was reading this book, at the end, it also changed a lot of things in my own life. So I'm very grateful that you guys have listened, are watching us today, and I'm hoping that it was really informative for you to be with us on the show and to watch, to have Lee-ann tell us a little bit more of her book. Thank you so much. So, as she has said, please follow those links. You can go to our website, which is www.twrempire.co.za, and the Twitter link is?
It's TWR Empire1.
TWR Empire1, that's the Twitter link. The Instagram
is @TWR Empire1.
@TWR Empire1.
And then I just want to say thank you for having me on your show. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Yes.
And I also want to encourage you with just a small little quote from my website. I just want to let you know that God turns beauty from ashes. And if you look at my life, I was in ashes, and God has converted that into an amazing, phenomenal journey for me. And this can happen for you. If I had this book more than 12 years ago, I wouldn't be here today. So I just want to encourage you. Get yourself a copy of this book. You don't have to have 12 years being a slave.
Yes.
Be 12 years set free.
Yes.
So I just want to bless you with that.
Thank you so
much for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lee-ann. And thank you so much to you guys. Until we meet again, please subscribe. Go to twrempire.co.za. And if you want to go to my website, you can go to www.leechmediasa.co.za. Until we meet again.